So back to the story. Again, so I know some of y'all joined today, so you guys didn't really get to hear the beginning of the story, which technically, like, it's all very important. That's why I started it from the beginning. But so you guys are gonna be lost a little bit, but it's okay. Now we're in November of 2020, and again we have this guy. We named him Luke. Just trying to be there, trying to be supportive, trying to be pretty much everything that John Doe wasn't. And I just pushed him away because I was like, no, I'm not gonna hurt you, just because I'm hurt at the moment and stuff like that, right? But he kept pushing. He kept trying. He kept trying to just be that person for me, and I let him. So I let him be this person for me, and it was good, like, we didn't have any issues or anything, but deep inside, I knew how I felt about John Doe. I knew that even though he did all those things to me, I just wanted it to work out so bad, like I said, and I loved him, like I genuinely did, because I know I wouldn't have put myself through those situations or if it kept going if it wasn't because of that. I don't know when it was the moment that I, that I fell in love with this kid, but I clearly did because I kept putting up with that. And Luke knew that. He knew that, but he just kept trying, and he kept trying. And then John Doe wanted to come back into my life, and pretty much John Doe wanted to come into my life, and pretty much, me being weak, me just loving him and wanting to be with him so bad, I obviously went for John Doe again, and I cut off Luke. And then with that, obviously Luke was like hurt, but he kind of like knew it would have happened because I kept telling him like that I have a hard problem staying away from John Doe, that I've tried before, and I always just end up back to him. And yeah, John Doe like made a big scene because he knew about Luke. He knew that I had started talking to this kid, and he didn't like that. He wanted me to himself, of course. So when he seen that, he tried to come back into my life, like I said, and I let him. And so again, we're still in November, and now I'm back with John Doe. December comes, we're going on a rotation, and what I realized was like, John Doe didn't talk to the other female at all. John Doe was, for once, for the first time ever, I could actually say that he was trying, and or seemed like he was, right? So yeah, we go on rotation, blah blah. Him and I are like talking all the time. We obviously see each other, and then we're like talking on the phone every night, falling asleep, like the normal things. And we're talking about our past, and it's just everything, right? So we start talking about our past, and we always argue when we talk about our past because obviously, like, I hadn't really done anything to this man to have hurt him until Luke came into my life and wanted to be with me, and I let him. So me letting him hurt John Doe, right? And it only really hurt him because he just wanted me to himself. It wasn't because of love or anything, as much as it seemed like that during that time, because that's what he tried to make it seem. I now know that it wasn't because of that. It was just the fact that he wanted me to himself. So he's over here saying like I hurt him because I was with somebody, and like he never thought I would do that because I had never done that before, even though me and him worked together at the time and all this stuff and all this stuff. And I was like, I dealt with your stuff for 11 months. I was like, I dealt with you 11 months going back and forth between me and this other girl, plus you had sex with two Italian chicks and God knows who else, because I have a feeling I know you had sex with somebody else because of this one time that I seen y'all together and y'all were like he and hi and all that stuff, but I never had the proof. And then like he swore up and down like, no, I didn't have sex, that's disgusting, she's nasty, blah blah blah. And like he just swore up and down he never had sex with this female, right? This female I was very close to. She was basically my best friend here. And I always had a gut feeling. And I always get these gut feelings. And these gut feelings have never really stirred me wrong when it comes to him. And freaking, so I go. So, mind you, when I saw them together and stuff like that, like all friendly, me and her were already really close friends. And me and him were already, like, fucking. That happened in 2019 when I saw them together in December when we first started. Now it's December of 2020. And mind you, I traveled with this girl. Like, I was always with her. And obviously I was with him and dealing with his stuff for that long. So something tells me, you know what? Just ask her. So this girl had already left from Italy, so she wasn't here. I go and I sent her a message. I was like, hey, I have a question for you that I've been meaning to ask. Like, whenever you have time, like, can you answer the question? She's like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, hey, did you and John Doe fuck? Then the girl, she called me. And she was like, to answer your question, yes. And I was like, are you fucking serious? You were my best friend. Or I thought you were my best friend. And on top of that, like, we all hung out. Like, you know how stupid I look? Like, I already knew I was stupid enough to be taking his ass back and forth and staying with him and forgiving him for all the shit he did. But you know how stupid I feel even more at the fact that we would all hang out together and y'all both knew the whole time, like, that y'all fucked and were fucking. And you knew that him and I, like, were fucking or had something. And y'all didn't tell me. You didn't even bother to fucking tell me. You claiming to be my fucking best friend. It was a lot. I took it in and I was like, you know what, whatever. I haven't spoken to a female till this day. And it wasn't because of the fact that she didn't tell me or none of that, but it was the reason why she didn't tell me. Her reason for why not telling me, to me, was not good enough. You know what she told me? She said, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to be in drama. I didn't see nothing wrong with not telling you because of not wanting to be in drama. I'm sorry. No, honey. Clearly you were not a friend. Clearly not. I'm like, you should have known better. I wouldn't have put you in no drama, but it was the fact that you didn't tell me this whole time. Like, what? That's fucking insane. No, that's fucking, yeah. And like I said, he was claiming, no, that she's disgusting, I would never, blah, 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 all this time. Turns out the whole time, like, they been had sex. So now we're up to 5 females that he had sex with that I knew of, or that I found out of, while him and I were talking or together or whatever. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I was like, you're such a fucking liar, like the regular, usual, whatever. He's like, at first, like, he was just like, you know what, like, whatever, like, not wanting to, like, say nothing or whatever, but he was like, later on, he was just like, oh, like, I apologize, I won't lie to you again, now you know the whole truth, this and that. And then my dumbass, because I'm a fucking dumbass, I was thinking like, yeah, well now I do know the whole fucking truth, you know, like now we could like start fresh, like a dumbass, you know. So then, still in December, we come back from rotation, whatever, whatever. So we come back from rotation, it's still December, and I pretty much, I was supposed to get my period while in rotation, and I didn't. So I get back, and I didn't have my period. I waited, I want to say a week, and still didn't have my period. So then I started getting worried, and I didn't want to keep waiting. So I went and got a pregnancy test. And the pregnancy test was kind of weird. Like it it wasn't clear. Like it wasn't clear enough. So then I went and bought another one a few days later, took it, and it came back positive. This is where it really hurts me the most. Um, so I'm pregnant, and obviously is John Doe's um, child, and obviously I tell him, I show him right there and then when I took it, and we're both shook. I'm a little like mixed emotions, don't know whether to get happy, don't know whether to be sad, and his face is shook. He's like, I feel like I should be happy about this and all this stuff. Like I just started bawling, crying, because at the end of the day, I knew I couldn't have the child because I was still married. And even though I've been begging and asking for a divorce and she's wanting to do the paperwork, my husband was just kept denying it. So for the people that have no idea because they're not in the army and stuff like that, reason why that's a big issue is obviously because I was still legally married, even though me and him were not together. We were not talking. I've been wanting to get the divorce and stuff like that. He just kept denying it and kept making excuses and all that stuff. Since I was still married, I would have gotten kicked out of the army. So then it was like, how am I going to take care of a child if I have no way to provide? Because I would have gotten a dishonorable discharge, meaning I wouldn't be able to really get a job easily out of the army. And it broke my heart. It was something that wasn't easy at all. And from there, I fell into really, really bad depression. I understand that some people agree with abortion, some people don't, this and that. I don't agree with it and don't disagree with it either. I feel like everybody, should be able to make their own decisions, but it's something that I, for myself, never wanted. Um, yeah, it's something that I really, really, really did not want, but it wasn't just something that I could have thought of myself. I had to think of the child, and I had to think also for my own career and John Doe's career as well. So then we obviously agreed that it wasn't a good idea to have a child right now, or to even have a child. And I was looking to see, because I'm in Italy, I didn't know how all that worked, so I started looking to see how that would work and how I was going to get it done. So then honestly, I want to say like a week after I found out I was pregnant, like I was again fell into very deep depression. All I kept doing was eating. I felt such deep hunger, like it was really crazy. Um, I started feeling a lot of the symptoms like right there and then. I was always moody. Like I'm talking about, I hated everything. I didn't want to like do anything. I didn't want to have sex with him. Like, I hated everything I loved about John Doe. I hated when I was pregnant. Like, I hated his smell. I hated being around him. I hated his touch. I don't know what it was. It's just I didn't like it. So we started having issues because I kept pushing him away when he was just trying to comfort me and trying to be there for me, because obviously, I'm going through this situation. And he was actually trying to be supportive and stuff like that. And I think it's just got to the point where he's just like, damn, like, she just keeps pushing me away or whatever it is. And when it came to Christmas, it was the day, it was the 24th. So it was Christmas Eve. He got invited to a dinner with his friend and his wife, and then he was like, oh, hey, like, I got invited to this dinner, like, is it like okay to go? And I instantly just blew up, because I was like, are you serious? You don't want to be with me on Christmas Eve? Like, I'm here pregnant with your child and you just want to leave me? Like, why are you always like trying to leave me? Like, be with me? Because he didn't invite me. He didn't want me to go with him. He was just gonna go, and I was like, are you serious? Like, so I made it a big deal, and I was like, you know what? You've been trying to like leave. You've been acting distant, because on the 23rd, he also like pretty much was gone all day and wasn't with me. And he said that he was just giving me the space because I kept pushing him away, and that he could tell I didn't want him around. And I understood that, but at the same time, I'm like, no, like, you clearly see what I'm going through. You clearly see that this isn't easy for me. This is not something I wanted to do. I was crying every day. Like, it's not something I wanted to do, but I knew it was like the right thing for me to do. So I was just like, are you serious? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And like, I just started making a big ass argument, and I took all his stuff and I put it in the kitchen. I was like, just go, leave me alone, just don't come back, leave me alone. And then he was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck's wrong with you? So we started arguing. And then, like I said, I took his stuff and I tried to close the door. And then so when I tried to close the door, I didn't manage to do it on time, and he opened the door and he was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I was like, no, just fucking leave and don't come back. You're always trying to leave, this and that. And then at that point, I got really, really upset. So I put his stuff outside the room entirely, and I was like, just leave, leave me alone. And then like, he snapped. Like, he did a whole 360 and was like, what the fuck, are you trying to see another nigga? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, all this shit that had nothing to do with it. And then we got physical. And mind you, I'm pregnant with his kid, and we got physical. And this man, literally, I fell on the ground, and this man had the nerve to stomp on my belly. And he was like, fuck you, you're a fucking bitch, blah, blah, blah. So there, I lost it, and I was like, get the fuck out my room. And I started like yelling for help. I was like, help, help, because like, I told him, I was like, don't fucking touch me, don't fucking touch me. So when he like went to put his hands on me or whatever, I started yelling for help. And like I said, he lost his shit. And yeah, I don't know how I fucking just got up and I fucking literally reached the door, the main door, and I opened that shit because I knew if I opened it, he wasn't gonna do nothing because people could like hear him. So then I opened it, and then I pretty much just said, get the fuck out of my room. And like, he left, obviously, because now he couldn't do anything. And he left, and I was just bawling my eyes out. Like, I couldn't believe that, again, he laid his hands on me, and he literally stomped on my belly with his own child in there. Like, so I was like, I'm done, I can't do this. Like, this is way too much. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's your own fucking child. Like, like, I was like, this is fucking crazy. So then, I spent Christmas by myself. Obviously, I was fucking depressed. I was fucking crying. I was just wishing I was with my family, wishing I had the strength to tell my family, because at the moment, they didn't know anything. At the moment, they didn't literally had no clue about anything at all. And I didn't have the strength to talk about it back then. And I was just spend the holidays by myself until I want to say the next day he did try to talk to me. He tried to apologize and blah blah blah, and I just wasn't answering. I wasn't responding. I was like, just leave me alone. Like, nah, that's, you don't understand what type of level that is. Like, that's a whole ass other level of disrespect and fucked up. Like, that's not right at all. Like, in anybody's, no, like, that's not right at all. And then I was like, he tried to say, oh, but you're getting an abortion. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's where I stand. I was like, just because I'm getting a fucking abortion doesn't mean that you have to take shit into your own fucking hands and stomp on the fucking belly. He was like, I didn't mean to. It was just how, like, I reacted because I was mad. And I was like, no, that's what you don't fucking understand. You can't control yourself. Yeah, I get mad and, like, yell and all that shit, but I'm like, what you do and did was way fucking overboard. Like, that's not fucking right at all. And he just, like, kept trying to apologize and shit. And then, my dumbass, of course, forgave him. One, because it was his child, and two, because, again, I was alone. I was alone, fucking in love with a fucking man that isn't a man. And I had his child, and I didn't want to go through all that by myself, even though being with him wasn't really helping and didn't make me feel like I really had somebody, because he would leave me just at any point. But again, I feel like I just didn't have the strength to leave, and I didn't really want to, I guess, because again, I loved him and I just wanted him to change and I wanted him to be better. And I don't know why I kept thinking that it was just gonna change. So then when New Year's came, obviously, like, it was supposed to be us spending it together like usual. And then he made other plans. He was like, I'm gonna go bowling, then I'll be back. But and I was like, alright, that's fine. I don't feel like going. I feel like shit. I want to be here. I didn't want to go out. I was still, moody all the time and all that. So he went bowling. He came back from bowling, went to his friend's room, and literally just stopped answering my messages. And I was just like, are you fucking serious? Every time I give you some rope, you take advantage of that shit. I was like, then you wonder why I am the way I am, why I feel the way I feel. And I just started bawling my eyes out on New Year's Eve, just fucking crying over somebody that didn't give a fuck about me, over somebody that would leave me with his own child. And yeah, so I was by myself, spent it by myself. Then in the morning, he tried to say that he was in his room and just didn't feel like being around people or talking to him, which I had a feeling he was lying about, but I had no proof and I had no energy to go look for it either. So once again, I let it go and I turned the other fucking cheek, like the dumbass that I was. And it was, I don't even, now we're in January 1st, 2021. And I'm still pregnant with his child. And I'm here waiting to get the abortion, about to go back to work again because during that time we were on leave. And it was just very chaotic. Just me being depressed, me not wanting to do anything or be with anybody. And then sometime between the new year, whatever, I know him and I stopped talking. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was just me that I was not feeling like him, because obviously, oh no, I remember. It was because he was like, oh, you clearly don't want to be with me anymore, da 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 da. Like, he didn't understand that I was acting like that because I was pregnant. It's not that I meant to, but I literally just couldn't stand being with him. I couldn't, everything I loved about him, like his smell, his touch, his company, I hated while I was pregnant. I think it was like, it's just everything, or the pregnancy itself, or I don't know what it was, but I just hated being around him. I hated it. And he didn't understand that. So he basically cut me off. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't care. I could do this on my own. I don't need nobody, right? So now I'm dealing with all this shit on my own. With all the shit of having his child, about to get an abortion, and trying to do the whole divorce thing. And it's just all this. And Luke comes back into the life. And Luke is just trying to be, again, supportive, helpful, being there. But Luke didn't know I was pregnant. And then, so Luke and I just talked, blah, 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 and then I ended up telling Luke, like, hey, like, you know, this happened, I'm pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And then Luke wasn't in agreement of the abortion. Luke was like, no, like, I understand, but I wish that it wasn't this way. Like, I wish you could have the child. Like, I would be there, you know? Like, he pretty much was just saying how he would have taken responsibility and all this stuff and all this. And I was like, listen, this is not your child. This is not your problem. I'm only telling you because I know you care and I want to be honest with you about things and this and that. And then he's like, no, I get it. And like, he was trying to be very supportive as always. And then Luke and I were talking again or whatever. And he was just there trying to give me comfort and trying to be there. And I noticed the difference of like, I didn't mind him around, or like him around didn't bother me. It was only really like when John Doe was around and I was pregnant, like it's just, I hated it. I don't know why, but I did. Then again, I ended up cutting off Luke again because I was like, no, like you don't need to deal with this stuff. This is my problem. This is my issues. Like, no.